Hi, welcome. It's time for my state of my art video for this day, and I am Modern Art, also known as Susan Maud Buxer-Lahaki, and I am finally getting to unpacking some boxes that I have here, and I'm coming across some art information that I'd like to share with you about my art career and how things have gone. So as you know, earlier this year I was hit by a deer, and it's been a long time in recuperating, and I'm finally back to being 100%, I think. I would say definitely 100%. So I am still working on a project called Smile for Peace. It's enough already, or it's already enough. Collecting smiles from people around the world. Was, as you know, running for president, also sort of under that banner to promote peace and bring peace. And I am not president, but I believe Donald Trump is listening to me, and that's why he's also focused on bringing peace between people. So it's about bringing peace, and I'm in it for all means possible, and however we can do it. So if he can bring peace, that's great. It was in my platform from the beginning to bring peace, and here we are. So I just want to take you back, though, in time to 1988, and I want to talk about when I graduated from Parsons School of Design and the New School for Social Research in New York. From the illustration department, there's an illustration show, and I, of course, was in it because everybody's in it. And I had several pieces. They were more sculptural, so 3D than 2D. And for illustration, that's sort of unusual, but anyways, that's how I was working at the time. Now, one of my main sort of inspirations was working with clay, and I like the animated series, or I don't know who was making it, but the claymation I liked a lot. And then I think at the time Saturday Night Live had something called Mr. Bill. So, clay and animation have always been around. Anyway, I actually was just also into sculpture and clay at that point. And so I created different works for the show, and one of them was a large, like 2 meter by 1 meter, something like that, sculpture of the 13 original states. And then from the states, I took the important images that represented like a historical fact from that state, or maybe even a couple of historical facts. So here I'd like to show you, and I mean, that just shows you that, even back then in 1988, politics and art were still a big thing with me, and very important to my world. So let's see. So I did the 13 original states, and I came across these photos, and they're not all I don't have all the states here represented, but I have a couple. So, or maybe I do have them. No, I don't have 13 photos. So I hope to find the rest of my photos. I don't know what ended up with my art. It could be that in some of these boxes it might be here, I don't know. Or it could be this is some of the stuff that I left behind in the USA. Anyway, let's see if I can find. The first state was Rhode Island. Rhode Island. I don't have it. Okay, so let's start with the mystery ones for me. I want to say that this is the Garden State, but I think I made a big garden in it, and so I'm going to say this is not the Garden State, and it's not written here, and so I'd have to do some research, but this is a Venus flytraps, and it looks like cigarettes, so it might be one of the southern states. Anyway. Was so tobacco. I'm not really sure, and you know, it's a long time ago, and I've made so many artworks since then. I'm not sure what it might be. I'll have to Google that and see. Then there's this one, which is also sort of a mystery one. Again, I'm not sure which state this is supposed to be. It does look like they're palm trees, so it might be one of the Carolinas. Then this is, I think this might be part of Rhode Island or Delaware, but I don't have the state here. What you can see though is, you know, I made this with Play-Doh. And I liked working with Play-Doh because the colors are already there. They're in the pigment, in the material. You don't have to add any. And it dries nicely, and then you can seal it. So then, here, let's do this one. Let's see if you can guess which state this is. If you guessed Connecticut, you guessed right. Then this will be an easy one. So, what state is this one? Those are crabs on horses. And they're having a little battle. If you'd say Maryland, you would be correct. Maryland crabs. Then, let's see if you recognize anybody in this picture, and then also what state is it. So it was a whole map, a three-dimensional map of the states with things that made them sort of famous. Do you recognize anybody here? Okay, so with this one, there are a couple of things I want to say. First off, these are, so Virginia is the answer. And Virginia had, at the time of the making of this sculpture, the most presidents from its state. So like George Washington and, well, I didn't do my homework for the video, so I can't remember who else is in there, but maybe I can research it and put it into the comments. But I made all these little presidents in diapers. So there we go. George Washington in a diaper. And he was our first president. And then also, if you look at that, I think this might be where the person, whoever started that bobby head thing, you know, the head on like a small body, because they came out like 2 years later. So I think this might have inspired that person to do their sculpture. I, of course, did not do it, sadly. I was doing other things. But yeah, so that was the presidents. And then this is the last photo that I have with me at the moment. Let's see if you can name this state. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so if you said Massachusetts, you'd be correct. And I had like T for the Boston Tea Party and Plymouth Rock. And for whatever reason, a turkey is there. Again, I need to research, but maybe that's the state bird, I don't know. But yeah, it is also Thanksgiving this week, so I wanted to leave this one for last to say Happy Thanksgiving to all of us, U.S. citizens, and whoever we're sharing our special day with. So yeah, so that's what I was doing. I was not really sure where I was going with art. I was approached by a toy designer, and I did work for a couple of months with a toy designer, but she had wanted to have me design the toys, and then she would put her name on it. And I, after getting a degree in spending so much money, I said no. So after 3 months, I left. And I went on to do my own stuff. I was working on getting a children's book published, which sadly it's still unpublished, but I have to admit, having had children and looking at it, the artwork is beautiful, yes. But the story is boring. So there might be a reason why it never got published. And, you know, not everybody can say that about themselves, but it's the truth, you know. It's not the best story. And I even, at different times, I had people help me change it and write it and stuff. I even had like a publishing house wrote back, or no, an agent wrote to me and said it was rhyming too much. It sounded like a Dr. Seuss, and they didn't like it. So, what can I say? Yeah, so I had a couple of difficult times at the beginning, but I didn't let that stop me. I kept going with art, and then here I am now, an artist, and yeah. I'd like to say I'm making some money, but I'm not really making money. So anybody who would like to donate, feel free. Feel free. I can put my donation information into the comments too. And then if you feel like you want to donate for me to continue my work on peace and peace around the world and peace between people, then I can do that. But yeah, I'll take donations. The one thing I guess you need to know is that in the new year, I'm gonna start up like a little art travel experience where I want to take people down to see the Nikki de St. Phal tarot gardens, and then the Monster of Bromo, I think that's how you say it, park. There are two parks down a little bit north of Rome by about an hour and a half, and they're really inspiring. As a sculpturist, they're super inspiring. And then if people want, we can either craft and make our own little dragon or something, or make whatever you want, a President Washington with a bobbing head. So there's going to be that possibility. Or if people want, they can go into Rome and go to the Vatican, I would recommend, to see the Michelangelo's and the Sistine Chapel, of course. And so then you get a real, like, cultural, arty experience. So anyways, if you're interested in going, I'm planning maybe a trip next year in April or May, and then one possibly in September. So let me know if you are interested in that. And even people from the U.S., if you want to come over to Europe and do this, it's worth it. It's worth it. So it would be, depending on how people want to go. I'm saying, like 2 to 3 nights. I have a hotel spa picked out that has a reasonable price, and then we can go from there. So let me know if you're interested in something like that. Art tours. Get that going. And lastly, I guess there's no lastly. It's still a disaster here and a disaster in the U.S. as far as my art in boxes goes. I have a lot of unpacking to do and discovery to do, and it would also be nice to get back to some art, which I will start photographing smiles again. And I think I'm going to start going for the leaders' smiles too, so I'll start writing to leaders and see if I can get them to give me a smile for my Smile for Peace project. So that's where I am, folks. Yeah, that's a lot, actually. So, all packed into just 18, 19 minutes. So that's how it goes. Right now, I am on Facebook, and I'm back on Facebook. I have not gotten back into my LinkedIn yet, but soon I will. And, of course, there's my YouTube channel. And I do have, like 1 or 2 concerts coming up. So that's going to be happening as well. I guess I should do a Thanksgiving concert to give thanks to everyone in my life. And then I have some other things coming up where I should do a concert. So I'm getting there. And yeah. So, and then my website, which is susan4usa.com. That's Susan the number 4 USA.com. And so have a look, and we're still working on peace. And I want to take this time to say Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your day. And if you happen to be a vegetarian, you can also still enjoy looking at a turkey. This one is not cooked. All right. So, thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.